I see that you've been eyeing the Lingoda Sprint, the one where you commit to a set number of classes, live classes, and if you finish, you get your money back. And you like the idea, but maybe you're not sure if July is the right month, or if you're actually going to follow through with it. I did in December, I finished it, and I got my money back. And honestly, I think the reason why it worked was not entirely based on motivation. It was just that I picked a month where things finally slowed down enough that I could actually show up for something. I think July is that month for a lot of people, and maybe for you too, like summer language camp for adults. That's genuinely what it feels like when you time it right. So this is me, Emily, from the other side, walking you through what I want to know before signing up. So what's actually the sprint? 2 months, all live classes with real human teachers in small groups of usually 3 to 5. The sprint itself is 15 class a month for 2 months, and the super sprint is 30 class a month for 2 months. Now the cashback for the sprint is 50%, whereas the cashback for the super sprint, that's 100% cashback. But it's not a discount. You pay up front and you get it back when you finish. I think that structure is kind of the whole point, because you're creating skin in the game, not just relying on pure motivation. Time commitment, honestly, sprint is like every other day for a month for 2 months, whereas super sprint is pretty much daily. So if you're keen to sign up for the one coming up, audit these dates first. If you're worried if Lingoda is going to go back on their word and not give you the cash back, don't worry. Remember, I got my money back and it was very easy. I wasn't even challenged. The most important thing is you do it according to the rules. And Lingoda has shared these rules upfront even before you sign up, so you can read the fine print. There are 2 standout things that I think you should know. First, it's not just attendance. It's perfect attendance. And if you miss one class, whether it's a sprint or the super sprint, the cashback is gone. Not reduced by percentage, it's just gone. Second thing is the rollover subscription. When the sprint ends, Lingoda automatically continues your subscription. So set a calendar reminder to cancel it before the sprint finishes if you don't want to continue. And if you're completely new to Lingoda and you want the full platform breakdown first, I've linked my original review in the description below. That one covers how the classes actually work, all the teachers, the whole thing. I'm not repeating any of that in this video. This is purely about sprint if you want the challenge and you being savvy, doubling up on getting your money back while making real progress on your new language. I think timing is the actual variable here. December worked for me because I knew it was going to be quieter. There's less competing demand and there's more bandwidth to actually show up for something new. Honestly, I don't think people fail at the sprint because they're not motivated enough. It's more likely that it doesn't work out for some people because their life is already at full capacity when they sign up for it. So July is the summer version of that same logic. You're someone whose pace genuinely shifts in the summer, like you have fewer meetings, the kids are off and on summer camp, staying with the grandparents, your rigid schedule loosens, and your day has a different rhythm. I think that spaciousness is exactly what this kind of structure required. And if July looks like your busiest month of the year, maybe just bookmark this video for September instead. That's when the next sprint is scheduled for. So what would make you trip up on this? This is subjective, so it really depends on the type of person that you are and the type of learner and how you show up for challenges and what that pressure actually does for you. I think most people who finish sprint book their classes, all the classes in week 1 rather than as they go. For me, I'm kind of in the middle. I book my classes 2 weeks in advance, only because my day-to-day genuinely looks a little different. And while structure helps me, I also need like 10% flexibility. But what this does is you treat each class like a flight that you've already paid for. You don't cancel a flight because you're tired. So these are what you need to know about cancellations. First, there's a 7-day cancellation window. If you book a class and try to cancel it within 7 days of the session, you can't, not unless you want to stay on track for getting your cash back. Now, most people, when they discover this, mid-sprint when something comes up. Now you know in advance, so book classes that you can genuinely attend. Secondly, technology here kind of counts against you. If your Wi-Fi drops during a session, I don't think the system makes exception. And this is just based on feedback. And again, read the rules before you sign up. So always have a backup, a phone hotspot, be in places where you can access 2 different Wi-Fi options or a wireless Wi-Fi router. Just know your plan before you need it, especially if you're kind of traveling this summer. Then you have the time commitment issue. Now you don't have to do the same slot every session. I certainly didn't. And the big reason why I enjoyed the sprint is because I still have full autonomy over my schedule. I'm not someone who needs the same teacher every session, although I do avoid some teachers, but story for another day. What I did do is decide on 2 time windows that I could consistently show up for. I got the mornings and then I have the afternoon slot between 3 to 5 p.m. For some reason, my brain likes this time better to be switching between languages back and forth with less friction. If this sounds like something that works for you too, find 2 time windows before you register and then book into them. I know we talk about getting your money back, but for the long run, here's I think what you get beyond the cashback. The format of these live classes are small group between 3 to 5 people, which means you can't hide. There's no scrolling, no muting yourself to do something else, double screening. Someone will ask you something and you have to answer in the language that you're learning. While it sounds like pressure, it's not pressure for pressure's sake. It's the thing that actually produces progress. The placement test at the start puts you where you actually are instead of where you wish you were. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but I think that matters. Because being at the right level means that every class is useful rather than it either being too easy to bother or too hard to follow. I got this recommendation from one of the teachers on Lingoda as well, on oscillating between the different levels. For me, the language I was learning was Spanish. And I spend a lot of time in Alicante, Spain, where you actually need Spanish in a way that you might not need in Madrid or Barcelona. You can get away with not speaking fluently in those cities. And what shifted for me wasn't entirely just on the vocabulary. It's the feeling of being less like a foreigner in the place that I spend a lot of time in. Ooh, that's not a Lingoda marketing line, although it should be. I think the magic happens when the language stops feeling like a hobby and starts becoming a daily necessity. This is what people mean by full immersion when you move to a different city. While I know there's nuance to this because it all depends if you actually leave the house, and if you don't leave the house as much as you probably want to, then getting these type of lessons online is very helpful. One more thing that's new since I made that review video, they now have an app. It feels a lot like the other app we all know, which I still use. So now there's in-between class reinforcement, which I think matters for retention. So this kind of accountability structure really works for my brain. There are external stakes, the rules are cleared, and there's a defined window. Do it if you have a genuine bandwidth for July, or maybe September if you're watching this video later. Do it if the external stakes and the clear rules are how your brain gets things done. Do it if learning a language has been on your list for like the longest time, to be exact, for longer than a year. And by now you know you need a structure to actually start. But if your summer is already full and you know there's a lot of things that's going to be coming up, too much flexibility in that sense, and structure would make it more stressful, it's okay to skip this one. At least now you know how it works and you could be ready for the next one. Maybe for some of you, it works better when the kids are back in school and there's a clear schedule as well for yourself. This video is not sponsored by Lingoda, but I use Lingoda enough to have an affiliate link. So if this video has been helpful for you, you can also get a little bonus by signing up through my link below in the description. Until next time, enjoy the ride that is this one life.